come all to learn and grow. Welcome to the Village Talk Show. Come all to learn and grow. Welcome to the Village Talk Show. We discuss what people need to know, empowering them to learn and grow. We discuss what people need to know, empowering them to learn and grow. Give praises to Jehovah, from whom all blessing and knowledge will flow. Blessing and knowledge will flow. The Village Talk Show, dedicating to empowering the community to live a healthy, safe, and financially capable life, helping each one of us in realizing our dream at any age, any point, starting from today, day. Success. Come all to learn and grow. Welcome to the Village Talk Show. Come all to learn and grow. Welcome to the Village Talk Show. We discuss what people need to know, empowering them to learn and grow. We discuss what people need to know, empowering them to learn and grow. Success is not spoken, it is done. Success is done. Come on now. The Village Talk Show. Talk Show. The Village Talk Show.
Good evening, ladies and good evening.
We hear you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Village Radio Talk Show. It's my pleasure to be with you this afternoon. I'm Roderick F. Daly. I'm joined today with our our co-hostess, Dr. Joanne Bryant. Our co-host will be here shortly, John L. Sampson. Looking forward to speaking to all of you today, and I'm extremely excited to be back in studios, right? So, just trying to hang out with you people for a little bit and seeing how that's going on. Hey, Dr. Brian, how you doing?
Hey, how are you? Welcome back to New York, right? Welcome back to the United States.
I'm not hearing you.
I said, welcome back to the United States.
Yeah, United States is a fun place. There's no place like home, right? Depends on what you're calling home anyway, because I went back to the home country. Congratulations again to my sister on her nuptials, to the new Miss Bennett. Happy anniversary and enjoy.
Congratulations. And good evening to our listener. Good evening,
Yes.
James, for joining us this evening, and all
Right.
our other listeners. Thank you.
Yeah, you guys are awesome. I just want to take a time out to say, thank you so much, because you guys are the one that's making this show happen, right? You are the one that's responsible for how the community works and everything else. Thank you so much for watching, viewing, sharing, participating on the Village, where we are dedicated to empowering the community to live a healthy, safe, and financially capable life through education, helping each one of us in realizing our dreams, any age, at any point, starting from today, where success is not just spoken, it is done. And so, what are you doing to be successful? Dr. Brian, let's start off with you. What are you doing to be successful?
Getting some rest. That's important for me to do to be
Why is,
successful.
why is rest important in success?
Because when you burn yourself out, and it's so true, we have a tendency of going and going and going and not pausing. But it is so important just to pause, reflect, rejuvenate, and so that you're good for others. You have to be good for yourself in order to be good for others. So realizing when you need to stop, take a time out, get some rest, take self-care is number one. Um, and you can't be good for anybody else if you're not good for yourself. So that is what I plan on doing this weekend. plan on doing tonight, getting some nice sleep, trying to catch up on sleep, and then I'll be ready for the world after. What about you? I don't get to
Uh,
vacation like you every week.
well, I, 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 I
I know.
keep, I
Say
keep reminding
yeah,
people,
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
and we can bring the conversation up later.
yeah, yeah,
A
yeah, yeah.
vacation, a vacation is not something that you go to when you have an assignment to do something.
What assignment you had to do? Go to the
I,
wedding?
yeah, that's an assignment, right? I didn't go to, I
Wait,
didn't say, no, no,
did
no,
wait,
no,
wait,
no.
wait. Did you set up the wedding thing? Did you have to set up the wedding? Did you have to walk the bride down the aisle? Did you
Yes.
have to put the invitation? Did you have to set the
No, no,
food?
no, 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 no.
My God.
If you, it will be shame on me, right?
Hmm.
Right? It'll be shame on me. Hey, James. Hey, Simone. You know, there's so many people. Before I even get onto this diatribe that I'm about to go on, right?
Hmm.
I just want, like, a lot of people reaching out to me and let me know that they're watching The Village, right? I know you guys don't comment on the air because some of you are very timid. So I'm very excited about that. So thank you so much. And like I've stated, I really want us um, to go all over to Dr. Bryant's living room to play on her piano and just chill and relax, right? Because the piano, the apartment, look at the apartment, yo. We can't do that. But I just want to say thank you. And even for the second thing before I even go on the diatribe today, somebody said they paid you a compliment, Dr. Bryant,
Who gave me a compliment? Well, thank you.
right? So Dan was like, yeah, she's hot, not hot as in a sexual way, hot as in, you know, how he likes how you talk, right?
Well, thank you, Dan. Thank you for
Right. So he said,
listening to
yeah,
us.
I'm watching the show and I like her. Then he goes, John is always late. I go, all right. Was John late last week?
I think he got on before we came on air.
Yeah. And he's like, John is always late. He's like, Dan is like, John is always. I was like, wow. And then he made a good suggestion now. So I want to follow up on that and see how it can get done. Um, so he suggested that we have a chef on from home in the kitchen and preparing something that for the show.
Mm.
And so I think that's a good idea. And you're a chef, so maybe I know you're going to tell me no. I already know that because that's your personality. Um,
What did
but
I make this evening? That's what you want to know? I
what?
made sea bass. I made
No,
sea
no,
bass.
no, 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 no. I was going to ask you
So,
that. To be the chef on the show, you're going to tell me no. I already know that.
mm,
So John was on time last week. All right, Simone. Thank
before
you.
we started the,
All right. So what do you mean I already decided that? Because I know your personality. You're gonna be like, next subject. Move on. What's next? Let's just see, Dr. White. I know that. But maybe we could find us a person who could cook something quick that family can do to prepare for their kids right after a quick dinner. Mom, dad come home, and they want to make something for the kid to eat or something like that.
mm. I want to
Something
give
nice,
a shout
something
out.
elegant, but but it doesn't require a lot of time. Something very nice.
I think we had that before. We had.
No, not live.
Okay. So I'll try to make that happen.
Okay. Um, I noticed that Andre keeps putting the show back and back. Like he goes, get ready for the show at 7:10. Andre, our show time is at 7 o'clock. So I'm gonna be late, but it's 7 o'clock, Andre, not
Listen,
7:10.
I appreciate the 7:10 pause just when you are late or if I'm running late or John, that's okay. So
Not
that
at 7 o'clock, but we need to get in the studio by 7.
mm.
Right? Not 7:10. You can do whatever for 3:05. I can do.
Life happens. Like tonight, it's pouring raining. So Roger, you didn't see the rain?
It was raining, but it wasn't pouring.
Okay. There was
I,
lightning.
I didn't say it wasn't. I think maybe the lightning happened when I went inside. So let me go back to what my diatribe was, right? I talk about vacation all the time. I talk about traveling all the time on the show. I talk about it all the time. It would be very stupid of you, right? Hold on. Right? It would be very stupid of you to travel someplace whether it's for business, if it's for business, that you don't put some time for yourself, right? So you're not going on vacation, but you should have some downtime, right? You should have some downtime for yourself.
I'm looking at Simone's her post.
Yeah, thank
Oh,
you,
you're
Simone. Thank
funny.
you.
Sorry, Doc. Yes, life happens, but teachers have to be in the classroom on time.
On time,
Yes,
right? So
that
the
is
show's at
teachers have to
7.
be in the
Somebody has to
classroom
be
on
there at
time.
7. It's not
But
7:10.
when the weather isn't going well, and when there's traffic, especially
Oh,
since I was a reality
okay, let
connector.
me say it one more time. So let me go back to what I was talking about, and I'm gonna come back to that comment, right? So I went to Jamaica for a wedding. It would be very stupid of me to be in Jamaica that I didn't do something that I would enjoy. That doesn't make sense.
How long was the wedding? 1 day, right? 1 day. How long were
but
you
there's
in?
preparation with the wedding.
How long were you in Jamaica?
I was in Jamaica for 5 days. Right? I was in Jamaica for 5 days. Who's this calling me from a 916? Hold on.
Of course, he's
It's unusual. Good afternoon. Let's see who's calling me. Good afternoon.
he gone. Go and pick up, ladies
Yeah,
and
I'm
gentlemen.
just
This
saying.
is what I have to deal with all the
Sorry?
time. You can save that for people. Not everyone will have that leisure to put time in. You
I'm
are
sorry.
so
This is my
right
Jamaican number.
about that. So right about that.
I'm not sure what this is.
Roger, can you have your conversation later?
Listen, most people don't call me my Jamaican number, so
It's
I have to
okay.
answer. Right? Anyway, so go back to what I was saying. So you would not. It's like you're in New York for the weekend,
Right.
right?
That
You're in New
I
York
never
for,
used to have that leisure to put.
no, but you know what? I know people who come to the United States and do nothing. They come in and they do the same thing they do when they're home, which is they stay inside the house, right? There's no way that nobody has business 24 hours a day.
I
No,
took
not in the day. You
yes.
might have a lot to do. You might have a conference. You might have something that you're working. But when you teach, right? You teach from 8 to 3. I'm just saying 8 to 3 because that's 6 hours, 7 hours, right? That's why I'm just putting it in there. You could put that 7 hours however you want to put the 7 hours. 8:30 to 3:20. I don't care, right? From 3:20 or from 3 o'clock, because we're using 8 o'clock. From 3 o'clock onwards, you're free to do something, right? You still worked. So what are you going to do from 3 to, I'm in a new country. I'm not going to go to work and come home. So people who go to different places and don't utilize that time. When I go on a conference, I'm going to spend an hour. I'm going to chill in the lobby. I might go to a museum. I'm going to do something because I'm going to some place that I might not have been. So it's not vacation. Vacation is getting up and having nothing to do.
You're touring. You're touring. You're doing things. It's vacation.
No,
even though
it's not. You guys, that's not. That's why. You know why? That's why you guys don't go on vacation. That's why people don't go on vacation, because they consider leaving from your house to go someplace else as vacation. That's why we as Black folks don't go on vacation, because we consider everything vacation. Vacation is going someplace, doing something with no plans, except for I want to go on the beach. If I get up at 8 o'clock, I'm good to go. I'm gonna go on the beach. I'm gonna have breakfast. I'm gonna chill in the lobby. At 9 o'clock, I'm gonna go to bed at 2 o'clock instead of 8 o'clock. I don't have to worry about what I'm doing in the morning. That's vacation. If I'm going someplace and I have to be someplace at a certain time, that's not vacation. I'm required, I'm tasked to be someplace because somebody's relying on me to be wherever I need to be. So that's not vacation. Vacation is the opportunity to be free. That's vacation. I could drink if I drink. I could play games if I play games. I could go hang out if I want to hang out. If I don't want to, I don't. If I want to go lay on the beach and vegetate, I want to go meditate. I want to go to yoga. I want to go to the museum, right? That is vacation. Vacation. If I'm going to my sister's wedding, I am not on vacation. Because if I don't show up to my sister's vacation, I'm going to have a problem.
If you don't show up to your sister vacation, that's a problem.
Wedding. It's going to be a problem. I'm just saying that is why black people don't go on vacation, because they think go visit. Sometimes go visit your aunt in Florida, right?
Mhm.
Go visit your aunt in Florida.
Mhm.
They think that's vacation. But if your aunt, somebody passes away, your aunt is sick, that's not vacation,
Okay, Simone, agree with
right? And that's what it is. So people need to stop calling every time you travel as, I'm going to go play dominoes. You're on vacation. No, you're not. I'm going to play dominoes this weekend in Florida, but I need to be at dominoes at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. What vacation is that? I need to be at dominoes from 2 to 12 p.m. How am I on vacation?
No set bedtime or wake up time. That's
Exactly. That's vacation.
But you know what? If the wedding is the first day, everything else you could have left the same day. The next,
No, but how are you going to go to a wedding and leave the same day?
well,
Well, I mean, I could leave the next day,
you
right?
can
But
do
it's a
that.
Sunday. The wedding was on Saturday.
Beyond that is vacation.
That's not true. I did put some vacation time in there, right? Right. I did put Monday and Tuesday as vacation time. That's vacation time because when I went to
Okay, admit that. Yes.
but that's what I'm saying. But I didn't go to Jamaica for vacation, right? I didn't go to vacation. See, again, it like when I went to Dubai, that was vacation. Dubai was vacation because I had no set thing to do. Like we knew we had different things to do, but if I chose to do them, I did them. If I didn't, I didn't.
Mhm.
Right? That's Dubai. When I go to Florida on Saturday, it's not vacation.
Ooh, thank you, Wanda. Wendy.
But that's what Wanda is saying.
Wanda, yes.
Going to the wedding is a choice. I agree. The wedding is a choice. I will agree with that 100%. That the wedding is a choice, but it's not vacation. Right? The wedding is a choice. I didn't have to go to my sister's wedding. That's you know what, James? I'm going to agree with you. Is this a general application, Roger? Because not most black people. Go back to the last one, Andre. Go back. Most black people, no, most can't afford to go. That's exactly what I just said.
That is true. That is true.
And so everything is a vacation. Once you leave your house, it's a vacation. Right?
Yes.
Yes. Because that's what I did. That's exactly what I did. Go back to that comment. Why you go to the comments so fast? Go back.
Wasn't me.
No, go back. Oh, go back. Go back. One comment. I think business and leisure can be. Yeah, slow down with the comments for a minute so we can go through them, right? I think business and leisure can be combined. Okay, yes, you absolutely can do that. Because if you're traveling someplace new, you maximize the purpose of you being there.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right? I have a meeting in Manhattan at 4 o'clock. I go to Manhattan a little bit earlier because I want to take in the scenery. Right? I'm throwing some leisure time. But if I didn't have to go to Manhattan for business, right, then I wouldn't be in Manhattan. But I'm going to throw some time in it because if you want to utilize my time, I want to utilize some of it too. That's it. So Monday and Tuesday, I had to be in Jamaica. Yes, Wenda. Yes, Wenda. It was a choice, right? But I'm not going to go to my sister's wedding if I can make it. I'm going to go to my sister's wedding, right? So I went to my sister's wedding, and then I combined 2 days. I said, once I get the business out doing anything I choose to do after is my time. Exactly, Simone. And I agree with that. That's what I'm saying.
Business is one day that you had to do.
No, the business isn't one day. No, it's not. Because remember, you have to prepare for the wedding. My wife was the maid of honor, right? So you have to prepare for the wedding. So it's not. So you're also trying to get. I'm from Jamaica, so we had business things to take care of. As a matter of fact, on Sunday, right? Playing domino is not leisure.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
No, why do you guys think it's leisure? It's playing sports is not leisure. Playing sports is not leisure.
Look, good evening.
Right. Right.
So here,
right?
Yes,
playing dominoes. I am going. It's okay. So let me ask you a question. You're an educator, right? That's what you are. You are an educator. Simone is a school secretary, right? Wenda is a nurse, right? That's actually your real profession, right? If you go to a nursing conference, because that's what you do, to either teach about nursing, learn more about nursing, put a nursing conference together. That's leisure. So because the name is Domino's, it has to be leisure. If you go to a Secretary PD, that's leisure.
You trying to
It's
justify?
not. No, you're not. It's because you have to have a global mindset.
I have a
It's
global.
what I do. If I play dominoes and I make money from playing dominoes, or I'm spreading the word of dominoes, I'm teaching dominoes, I'm highlighting dominoes, it's not leisure. When I play
So
dominoes,
I gamble all the time just to
no,
make
no,
whatever.
no. If you gamble for a living, it's not leisure. If you
Mm.
gamble as a pastime, it's leisure. When I go to the park to go play dominoes in the summer, it's leisure because I don't have to. It's not something I'm compelled to do or strongly compelled to do it.
Oh, this is a good one.
Right? What's the good one? Yes, I am. I am a paid sportsman. Yes, I am. Right? So I look for sponsorship. As a matter of fact, I'm looking for sponsorship for my domino tournament in March. Right? So if anybody knows anybody who wants to be a sponsor for it, right, please do let me know. I would love that. Sponsorship starts at $500. Work your way up. Right? So,
And what do you get in response?
well, you get
When?
it's marketing. It's marketing. So you're sponsoring the event. You get to go on the website. You get to come out. You could say a few words at the tournament. Show up. Bring your product out there, and do that. But it's $500. Starting at $500, depending on what you want the support. What the support can be. So it's definitely not leisure. But share your joke. I'm not buying it. You don't have to. You really don't have to. It's like when we're in UFT conferences, people are like, oh, I'm going to Albany. Listen, I'm going to Albany for lobby day.
I love it.
Right? Right? I go to Albany for lobby day. That's vacation.
I love it. Oh,
Answer the question. I'm going to lobby. I'm
okay.
going to Albany for lobby day, February 6th and 7th. I'm actually going on that day to go and lobby. Right?
Mhm.
That's vacation.
You listen.
So here's where Domino's is leisure, Simone. If like when I went on vacation, right, on Monday and Tuesday, right, Sunday evening through Tuesday morning, I brought a pack of dominoes with me. My wife, my sister-in-law, and my brother, my wife, my sister-in-law, my wife, my sister, and my brother-in-law. We played dominoes.
Table taking pictures, right?
Yeah, that's leisure. That was leisure because there's no format to what I'm doing. I'm just there playing dominoes. We're sitting down, chilling, and having fun. That's leisure. That's when it's leisure. I have to wear my uniform when I go play dominoes this weekend. I have to actually wear my uniform, right? So it's not like I can just go get up. If I don't wear my uniform, I'm penalizing my team, right? You have to be on time to participate. You have to follow a structured format in terms of what you can do and what you cannot do. Okay, that's not leisure.
Okay.
Leisure is do what you want to do. That's leisure.
All right.
Now enjoying what you do is a different story.
Tell me about the weather out there. That's what I want to know. We have rain up here. We don't want
it rained. Actually, it rained on the wedding day.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it rained on the wedding day. God was good, right? God was good. Like it stopped the rain at the right moments. So it stopped the rain for the bride to walk up.
Oh, that's awesome.
Right, and as soon as the bride walked up, it started pouring again. Right, we went to go take the video. We went to there's a place in Maypen. If anybody's familiar with Jamaica, like if you come off the toll bridge and you're going towards St. Elizabeth, towards the Maypen, right there at the Maypen bypass, there is a flower bed, right? So people they went in and they took the pictures right there. The bride looked beautiful. My wife looked awesome. She was. I was like, damn. So I'm a share. I know you don't like sharing. My wife bought this very inexpensive dress That's all I'm going to say about how inexpensive it is. I'm not going to say because I know you looking at my face, right? Very inexpensive. I'm telling you, yo, I'm telling you. I tell people all the time, it's not always the price. Man, that yo, it was inexpensive as all hell. And when she told me the price, I was like, what? My wife was looking banging.
You know, like you just said, it's all about how you carry yourself, how you accessorize everything. And your wife has style. She could do whatever she wants. She has the body to go with it. So
I stopped looking
they
at my wife's body, all right?
got
That's my
Miss
job.
Daily. She work. Listen, the women work out. She got to deal with you, put you in headlocks. So you
Yeah,
know, it's all good. It's all good. So,
um,
what's happening in the news, Mr. Daly? Tell us about what's happening in the news.
wait, there was one thing I wanted to say before I got to the
You want to
news.
say what you want to say?
I don't remember what it was, but I found something out very negative when I went to Jamaica.
Oh boy.
And um, so last week I was talking about the numbers, right? When I was down there, I was talking about the number of deaths that were happening in Jamaica. Somebody pointed out something to me, which I didn't know.
What's that?
So murder rate in Jamaica says about like 1,500, right? I don't remember the exact number. Andre, if you can look that number up for me, right? But it don't count multiple deaths. So like when that guy killed the woman who killed her and killed her, like cut off his head, right?
That's I
Right. The hold on, go back. Let me go back. When the man killed his cousin and her 4 children, so the five is a quintuple murder, right? They only counted as one murder, although 5 people were killed, right? Right.
I love it. Maxwell, great. This is Maxwell.
Maxwell is a great dancer, by the way. Maxwell is Maxwell is an awesome dancer. Maxwell, one day I should have you in the show and you show us your dancing skills. One day.
I love it.
Maxwell, did you graduate in Madison? Madison, yeah, Madison Jordan. Well, Jordan Madison. I'm not sure you did. I think she might have graduated the year after you. Let me know. Does the name Courtney Thomas and Frankie Williams ring a bell to you? Let me know. I think there might have been. She was that year, so I'm not sure if you were the same year. And her mom will be on the show next week or the week after, one of those two. So I was very disappointed. I was telling people.
The nerve. I know. I would say the same
What
thing.
nerve? What is she talking about? Nerve about what?
He just said, why would he have to put that up there? He's amazing.
Oh, she's talking about her son. Oh. That's right, Maxwell. Blow your mother's spot up. She's a retired. Maybe she needs to take on a 501c3. Maybe she needs to take on a 501c3 and get to work and realize it ain't leisure. I need somebody to be part of my World Domino Federation.
Oh my God, can you stop the domino thing?
Let's move on. All I'm just saying is that maybe she needs to take on something and she realizes it ain't no leisure. Once you are committed to do something, it's not. So let me ask you a question. When you come to this radio show, is it vacation? Is it leisure? Or work?
You're comparing.
I'm asking you a question.
You're comparing.
But is it leisure or work?
To avocado, and it's not the same.
Why it's not the same?
Because I didn't get to fly on a plane to go and spend time in wonderful weather.
Well, if we're doing a radio conference and you go, right?
Stop. Okay, stop. We're moving right along, ladies.
Okay, you don't like to lose.
Done.
Because you don't like to lose. You just think that dominoes. Once you play sports, typical West Indian woman. You play sports. Like my mother used to say when I was growing up, why you go boom no ball? I never say no school, go boom no ball. I say that school's gonna get an education. That's what my mother used to say. So, and I was a very good basketball player, but she wasn't supporting that basketball. She supported me playing sports. But my mother's not. My mother said I didn't send you to school to bone. Boy, you come there, come here, pongs ball. When I told her I wanted to go try out for the NBA.
All right. Anyway, moving right along.
Don't tell me moving right
So,
along.
ladies and gentlemen, I want to speak about why the whole Biden thing right now.
I don't want to go there yet. Let's talk
I
about
wanna
in
go
your
right-
world.
I
Let's go
want to
in.
go right there.
No, let's go in your world before we get to Biden, because we're going to talk about politics in the whole. Because we have George Santos and all the crap, all the things.
What you want to
Let's
know?
in your world. What in the fly flow from happened in that school in Newport?
That have the 6-year-old.
The 6-year-old. Yeah, that's your world. I'm surprised you didn't want to lead with that.
So the 6-year-old. No, there's a reason why I didn't want to lead with this because, Lord, having a 6-year-old child in a school building that you think, hey, is safe. You're sending your kids to school. Everything is cool, copacetic. And then hearing or getting a phone call to say, hey, there was an incident where a child shot their teacher is beyond nerve-wracking. I don't know how I would act to that. And for it to be a 6-year-old because he didn't like his teacher is very troubling. So now what are we putting
Go back, Dr. Brian. Go back, Dr. Brian.
Mm-hmm.
Go back.
So
no, go back for a minute because I want to ask you a question because this is all you. This is all your topic right here. So I'm just going to throw questions at you.
Mm-hmm.
What is the mindset of a child who is 6 years old to understand that level of hatred?
So here it is. We have society is putting out there, if I don't like you, it's on TV, it's on the music, it's in the streets, that if I don't like what you're saying, if I don't like what you're doing, if I don't like how you're acting, I'm coming after you and I'm going to put an end to it. That cancel culture is also part of it too. So here it is. A 6-year-old child don't like their teacher. You know how many kids don't like me or who didn't like me? I couldn't care less. But the fact that this child at 6 years old had access to a gun that was negligent on their parents' behalf, because here it is, if you're going to have a gun, you should safeguard your gun. And the fact that this gun was already loaded and ready to go, that the child could shoot off twice, that's disturbing. That is beyond disturbing. So if his friends said something or he didn't like his friends or whatever, would he go after his friends or his classmate because he didn't like the way they were acting at 6? That's a problem.
You know what I also have a problem with though, while we're talking about that?
What is that?
Why are you withholding the name of that damn child?
Because he's a minor.
I don't give a rat's behind. I don't care. See, this is the problem that I feel. And people think that, oh, I'm very Republican, I'm very harsh in my thinking. If you have the mindset to commit a crime, your face should not be hidden. The teacher, Abigail Zwerner, and her family, her face is not hidden. Her name is in the media. We know who she is. Right? She has 3, what is it? I think she had like, let me just, I'm not sure how many children because there are multiple news about 3 children and stuff. So I don't want to say she has 3 children. Right? But she's a 25-year-old teacher whose name is in the media. Why the hell can't the 6-year-old child's name be in the media too? They committed it's a heinous crime. It's heinous. And that's the problem that we do all the time in America. Children can do no wrong. They can't do any wrong. Oh, they didn't know what they're doing. They didn't this. They didn't that. The hell with it. He shot a 25-year-old woman on purpose. So both he and, I don't care that he's 6, both he and his parents should be charged. Obviously, I don't think he should do as much
Only
crime
for the charge.
time as his parents, right? And I don't think he should be in adult jail. I don't think that. I'm not that far to the right. But I
Yeah.
don't think that her name should be, his name or her name, whatever it is, should be excused. Right?
He's
She
not going to
turned
be
around to make sure that every one of those students were safe. She turned, let's read that one more time. She turned around, according to Chief Steve Drew of the Newport News, Virginia Police Force. She turned around to make sure that every one of those students were safe. Right? Come on, man. Come on, man. I don't care what anybody tell me. I'll protect the child, protect the child. I don't believe that one bit. Right? I don't know. Right? And the parents, I don't care what anybody tells me, those parents needed to be placed in an area where they themselves need to be chastised.
I'm all about, like when we talk about guns, okay, if you're going to have a gun, okay, fine. But when you make it accessible for your 6-year-old child to have access to it, that means that child have been watching where you have been storing it, or your negligence leaving it anywhere. Then to top it off, for that child to be able to fire off that gun, not once, but twice, that's a problem.
Listen, Andre, did you bring her back up Simone's comment for a minute? Um, I always argue with my friend Janice. Um, she always tells me how nursing is a very hard position, and don't get me wrong, I don't disagree. And I'm telling her every job is hard. Imagine you're that parent in that sixth grade, in a first grade class, right? Yes, I would. You see, I want to say this. Let me go back let me finish the comment I was making. Imagine you're the parent receiving that phone call, there was a shots fired in your sixth grade class.
Mm-hmm.
My son, my daughter, getting that phone call. My wife. Are you kidding me?
Here's the thing. I'm gonna interject right there.
Yeah, go back to before you interject. Empress made
Chris,
a question. Are you asking me, would my stance be the same if it was my son? Are you asking us that question? Or are you saying, what are you saying?
that is exactly what.
I would say as a parent,
Oh,
right? As a parent, you don't ever want to see your child committing a crime. No parent should be out there boosting up their children, their 6 year
oh,
old child, to commit
look,
a crime.
my 10-year-old nephew is watching the show, and he said, "Hey, Auntie Shu, this is Jaden. I liked and subscribe. Tell them what I said about God being good, please."
Okay,
So
we're gonna give her the opportunity.
yeah,
Actually, Jalen, you could call in and tell us yourself, right? So you could give Jalen the phone number. You can call in. If it's nobody wants to see, no right-minded, moral person would want to see their child commit a crime. So to say if it was my son, I don't know that would be a fair. I asked Dr. Bryant if it was her son. I don't think that's a fair question, right? But if it was my wife, if it was my student teacher, yeah, I want to see something happen, right? It's like saying if my son were to, God forbid, rape somebody. No, I don't want to see my son go to jail. Who wants to see this son go to jail? But I'm not going to stop him from going to jail if he rapes somebody, right? So I think sometimes, a lot of times, like if I dated a woman, right? I'm dating somebody's daughter, but I'm not going to date my daughter, right? It's that's disgusting. So how you feel about your personal self is different than how you feel about the external self, right? You know, I would date somebody that's 30, but I wouldn't date my 30-year-old daughter, right? That's right. Or you might date somebody who's 35, but you say, I'm not going to go to 30 because that's the same age as my daughter or as my son, right? So you look at it like everything is not the same when you put you into it, right? And of course, I'm going to go fight for my kid, my 6-year-old. Of course, I'm going to fight.
Let me explain
Look at what Simone said.
what she said.
What is put it back, Andre? What did Simone say? If it was my child, the anger in me would have me on trial and my child taken from me. I'd really teach him a lesson. I agree. Well, we don't know how accessible the child was.
Accessible to what? The gun?
Yeah. Hey, Dr. Clark, how you doing? Yeah, man, I'm glad we didn't get to hang out in Jamaica. I was looking forward to it. Yeah. I don't know how accessible the gun was.
The gun was
But
very
it was really accessible.
yeah,
But you don't know how the child got it. See,
so,
they left a lot of information out. It was in the house. Was it locked away and the kid knew where the key was?
but no
Right?
matter what, guess what? If you have a gun, you need to safeguard your gun
But you
safe.
don't know that it wasn't safe. You're making judgment based
No,
upon the fact that he got access
I'm
to it.
being a responsible parent that if I know I have a gun, guess what? Where I put the key, where I hide the key, I make sure that it's nowhere where my child could have access to it. If I
But
know
you don't know. See, kids are slick, Dr. Brian. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying kids are very slick. They could be watching you. How many times you put money down and think you hide the money away? You heard that they put the money down and the kid found the money anyway?
I haven't had that issue.
Well, ask some people on the audience. Your kids have done some things that have surprised you. Even your children have done things that have surprised you. Like my child is not going to do that, and they did it. So if he's angry, right? I don't know. You don't know how big your house is. If it's a 1-bedroom apartment, there might not be a lot of space. It might be the gun might be at the top of the closet, not accessible to the child, and the child found ways to climb up. The mom and dad, I don't think, God forbid, I can't think the parent would be that ignorant to give the kid a gun to go to school. I pray to God that's not what happened. You get what I'm saying, Dr. Ryan? So
I hear what you're saying.
So I don't want to. Yes, I think the parents is responsible, right? Yes, I do think the parents has some level of responsibility.
Oh
right?
no, George
Hey George. Good afternoon, caller. You're live on the Village Radio Talk Show. Hi, Carlene. How you doing?
We can't hear the caller.
You can't hear the caller? Hold on, let me turn it up. Can you hear now? Go ahead. Hold on. I'm sorry, Colin, please hold. I'm calling you live. Please hold. Yeah, go ahead, Colleen.
The mic closer.
Can you hear me now?
Can you bring the other mic closer to it? So maybe
Go ahead. She can speak. Go ahead, Colleen.
Yeah, ironically, I have a case right now in my family that I'm dealing with. My 7-year-old nephew who lives out there in Riverhead, was saying that he's invincible. In our class, he said he's invincible. He's powerful. And one of the students turned around and told him that if I got a gun and shot you, you're not. The teacher heard and saw on tape that if he got his gun and shot my nephew, 7 years old, that he, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, when he said that, the teacher thought it was necessary to take both of them to the principal and to take both of them and both of them were sent to the school psychologist. The parents were not called until the end of the day, and they were greeted with, there's nothing wrong, but Amir was threatened in school, and it was dealt with rather blasé. Now, as soon as I heard that, my niece didn't call me till after the holiday, till last Monday, to tell me about it. Well, by Wednesday, the school board and everybody had to hear about this. By Friday, this news comes out that a 6-year-old shot a teacher. And what the concern that we had was that you cannot take these threats. Not any, you can't take these threats lightly anymore because out there with the head, the um, the racial dynamic is like not broken at all.
Yes,
And their access to God is different. It's a different platform that you have altogether than Brooklyn. So it was very frightening. They asked the child, how do you feel? He told the principal, he told the psychologist that I feel threatened and I feel scared. Why was he allowed to stay in school the whole day? Why was his parents not contacted straight away? And why was this situation dealt with so like it was not a big deal. And so right now, we're actually facing, we're trying to see what can be done so that, so that more attention can be placed on this, especially since we have a 6-year-old in the news right now responsible for shooting a teacher.
All right. Yeah. Thank you. I'm going to address it in a couple of minutes. Thank you for that call. All right. Caller, you're live.
Hello?
Yes. Go ahead. Yes, we're listening. Thank you for calling the Village Radio Talk Show.
This is Jalen.
Oh, hey, Jalen. How you doing? So you're saying you're telling your auntie something? What was that? Was that you talking about being blessed by God? What was that?
So, what I like to say is, everyone should know that God is very good. He made the earth and He made us. And I want people to know, right, every day, and I want everybody to know that God is special. He's looking down on us, and He's even looking what we're doing.
Amen. Amen. Amen to that.
Thank you, Dan.
Yeah, that. Thank you so much, Jalen, for telling us that, especially during these times where things are getting rough, right? They're getting tough out there. How old are you, Jalen?
I am 10 years old.
Excellent. You're in the 5th grade or in the 4th grade?
He's in Florida.
I'm still in 3rd grade.
Oh, you're still in 3rd grade. All right. Make sure you keep that faith and keep it strong. All right.
All right.
God needs people like you to continue lifting Him up and lifting up His word and and giving your testimony, right? Giving your testimony about the goodness of God. So that is awesome, right? And make sure you say hi to grandma and grandpa and mom and dad and your auntie, your auntie Dr. Brian when you speak to her.
Okay.
All right. God bless. All right. Enjoy your evening. Hey, John, what's going on? Welcome,
Hey,
Mr. Sampson.
Welcome.
Were you driving to the studio?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So going back to what Carlene was saying, a lot of times people don't take what these young people say. It's kind of like the cop doesn't take what you say seriously until somebody gets hurt.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, we can't do nothing because they only threatened you. They didn't do anything physical. What is the extent of the physical? Right? How am I doing at the end? Take somebody at their word. I don't know. You were saying, Dr. Martin.
That what Carlene said is so true and disturbing because it happens all the time. People don't take threats seriously. They don't take what action seriously until there's death or something. Especially when it comes, if someone is displaying, you would never take a 6-year-old, hey, you know what? with the 6-year-old, hey, I don't like my teacher. You wouldn't think anything beyond that. But I don't like my teacher to go and take action beyond just like writing a nasty letter or drawing a picture. I can't stand my teacher. That's a 6-year-old behavior.
So
But
here's my question, Dr. Bryant.
mhm.
What is going? Oh, by the way, there's Dan. So tell Dan thank you. Tell Dan thank you.
Thank you, Dan.
All right. Yeah, thank you, Dan. Simone and Dan are on the right page. Only a moron would leave that accessible to a child, and anyone that's stupid should, short of imagination, should have neither a gun nor a child. 100%. Right? 100%. So
Mhm.
going back to that comment, right?
Mhm.
What is the parent teaching the child at home that this kind of anger is accessible? What are you telling the child? Because my 6, 7-year-old, my 10-year-old, as angry as they get, right?
Mhm.
As angry as they get, they know that violence is not
Okay, I'm glad you
acceptable.
said that. Nowadays, we're at a culture where if I don't like what you said,
See, look what
I'm
Dan
going to.
said.
Thank you, Dan. Mwah.
Yeah, right. What are you saying, Dr. Wright?
I am witnessing angry folks, from angry 6-year-old to angry teenagers to angry adults, and it's scary because here it is in a school building, and I'm going to say this as an educator, it is very scary when I go into a building or if I go into a school and there's a fight and I'm worried that someone's going to take out a weapon.
You know,
That's the
that's the
problem.
problem. And um, I was in a school a few days ago, and I was talking to an agent, and one of the comment was that, caller, give me one, please hold, caller, please hold, right? That one of the conversation was how the irate parent came to the school, and how they were interacting at the school level that created some kind of trepidation in the building, right? So that's a
Mhm.
problem. Carla, you live?
Hi.
Can you guys hear?
Yes, we can hear.
Okay.
Okay, I have to run in 2 minutes. So I'm calling because I'm assuming that you're talking to Roderick. I am not going to say that there are one kind of behavior in the peers acceptable.
Can't hear you. Can't hear you. Speak up.
You get Johnny, you being serious?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can't hear her.
went down a little.
She went down a little. All right, let me try back the other way. Go ahead. Go ahead, Simone.
Okay, I'm not going to put full responsibility on a
Is
kid.
that my favorite person? Is that my favorite person?
Hi, John. How you doing, John?
I'm blessed. I'm blessed. Happy New Year.
Because people wanted to say you were late in the studio, and I had to tell them no, you were on time last week.
I didn't hear the rest.
She said she was saying that John was on time last week. She was defending him, and then he showed up late. Yeah. Anyway,
Anyway,
so you were talking about the parent.
yeah, we have a tendency to blame the parents when the kids do things, but I have seen firsthand where parents can are tired. The child displays so much anger, the school and in the support who the child is in now, and the child is only in the country a year and a half. And this man, no matter what he does to the child has a level of anger where you don't know what to do. The child is homophobic. He's telling the guy that comes that if anybody is touching the wrong way, he's going to kill them. And I'm like, what do we do? What do we do? Because these are the things that kids say they will do, and the school sweep it under the rug because they don't want the child to know about these things. And then all of a sudden we're reading about it in the news that the child can't tell the right. So what do you do when you have a child who's so angry and bitter and say all these things and then act out on it? We tend to say, yeah, the parents knew about it, but as a parent, you may have to child also.
I go through the homosexual question a lot, especially within the Caribbean community.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I always tell people, it's don't push homosexuality down people's throats, right?
Right.
right? And I think that it's but
our school is not being pushed down the throat.
no,
Your thought is say today and your face. You always can say anything to me because I'm over.
yes,
I don't want and you just
because you know what I find that's not happening, the respect of person placed on things, right? So I might be homophobic, you might be a homosexual. I have to learn to live in your space, and you have to learn to live in my space,
and that's the problem we have, but we're gonna have to have a different
right?
show for that.
Right,
But
and
that's the problem with that.
right, and so the one of the issues that America has is that, and the far left is that you have to learn to live in the homophobic space, in the homosexual space, but but I don't need to live in your homophobic space. Like respective space. That means I can't do any wrong to you. I should not be disparaging. I should respect you for who you are. You should, learn the difference. You can't cause harm. And you know what? At the end of the day, both of them need to understand that words and action hurts. And I tell people all the time, you can tell me anything you want, but if you say the wrong thing and it triggers something in me, don't say you weren't physical. Because if you trigger them, and that's what Dr. Bryant always talk about, mental
But
health.
you see, this goes back to the little 6-year-old. How do we know that the teacher is safe? Yes, he's safe. Don't get me wrong, and it's wrong. But how do we know that something wasn't said to him that triggered him? These are the things we have to look into.
But
What is
it, but
wrong because he's sick and because somebody is sick, that words can trigger them, but we don't think that words can trigger a 6-year-old.
and this is what I'm saying. Like I don't think people are addressing mental issues, right? What is the parent supporting at home? Yeah, what is the parent supporting at home? Right? What is the school supporting in school? Like Carlene asked the same question. Why did the school take so long to get back to me about my 7-year-old who was threatened by another 7-year-old? What is the child watching at home? What kind of violence is the child watching? What kind of language are you? It's not one thing, it's a lot of things, right? My sons know that you can't use homophobic slurs at my house, and you can't use the N word at my house. Those things are not acceptable, right? Because you have to respect the person.
I have to run. My turn time. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. Thank you as usual.
That's why.
Uh-huh. The choice that, yes, but by choices has pushed one another with consequences, people generally won't respect what is forced on them. Sometimes you need to force to create change. Sometimes a change needs to be radical for it to happen. But I think the respective space becomes important. John, you're kind of quiet today. What's going on?
Listening. That's all.
But you're not a list. Yeah, that's Simone and James and Carlene. You're the co-host. You can be a listener.
Well, I mean, you can listen to, I always love to listen to what Simone has to say because it's always very enlightening what she has to offer.
Yes, she
You hear
does.
that, Simone? I give you a compliment. So just remember, the
She went
far
to
and few
Bible.
between.
She went to Bible study, so I'm not sure.
Well, praise the Lord.
Right.
Well, you know what, Roger? I think, I'm assuming you're talking about the incident with a 6-year-old and the teacher. I'm assuming you're talking about just our behavior in to the extent of what has become acceptable in society. This is no surprise, and that's what's amazing. This is not a surprise. So it comes to the point now where we have become so numb to things like this. It's like acceptable behavior. It's unfortunate, but it's the realization of the world. So the whole point is, how do you change the mind? What do you do to change the mindset? What do you change? How do you change the the outlook? This is like really to no surprise. that a 6-year-old brings a firearm. The question is, you talk about the upbringing of the parent. How did the parent bring the child up? But sometimes some of these children are so far advanced that they see a firearm because what they see. Why would he take a loaded firearm to the school? So what's his reasoning?
Right.
Does it come from the parents? Does it come from the surroundings? Is it a broken home? Are both parents in the house? So there's so many different factors, man, that you have to weigh.
And that's one of the things, like, I feel, and that's what I was saying earlier, that when they're leaving out, oh, we're not talking about the family, talking about issues about the family. You need to. We're here making conjectures about things that we really need some information on. Caller, you're live. Good evening.
We can't hear Roderick. Louder.
Okay, hold on. Go ahead, Chris. Can you hear him?
Hold on. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Chris.
Just to touch on the subject, with 6-year-old, remember, a lot of people jump into assumptions about the household and so forth, and about the child. Any 6, 7, 8, all the way to 10, 12-year-olds is full with curiosity. The average kid, I think if I would have probably done something like that when I was a kid. Maybe just to show it to my friends or so forth. So I don't think we could jump to assumptions in terms of the family structure or the child themselves. The question is, what should be the penalty? Should that child be charged? What should be the penalty for the kid? And then also,
you didn't hear what I said. You didn't hear what I said, right? I said that child should be charged. Right? That child should be charged. I know.
Roger, you talk about charging, right? I mean,
I strongly disagree with that because
I know.
remember, any action of any minor is a result of. So we're not in the public school system. We're not in a system of a punitive type system. It's a restorative justice mentality in terms of the kid does something wrong.
Posh.
The kid only he only knows his environment. He only knows what he knows from the parents and also from what he sees socially. So whatever punitive is done to that child, and I'm talking about minors under the age of 14 years old, is temporary, because what we discussed earlier is a mental aspect that we have to fix within that child, because you just created a system. The kid is going to get whatever, and then it's going to be a repetitive system, and then the kid's future is ruined. So you have to restore that child and then move from there. You discipline a 6-year-old for something that was beyond his. If he's going to choose to discipline and do something punitive to the child and their family, then you're saying that a 6-year-old is able to have the mental capacity to make certain choices on their own. Then as an educator, that's not the case. And that was one subject I wanted to make. The next subject is, a lot of people are coming to me with the comment of, why is the homosexual agenda being pushed forward in the school? But before I move to that, the reason I say that's why public schools are public, because public schools, whatever your child does, they have the right to be in the school. So if you want your kids to be raised with a Catholic mentality, you send them religious school, you send them to a Catholic school. You want your kids to be raised in the Seventh-day Adventist type of mentality, you send them to the Seventh-day Adventist school. You as the parent are the first teacher, but at the same time, the school is going to on that.
All right. I thank you, Chris, for the call. All right.
Yeah.
All right. We're
There's a,
going to answer both of them.
hold
Go
on.
ahead, Dr. Brown.
There's a couple comments. There's another caller. So Dan wrote,
No, there was. I hung up on the caller. I'm sorry. Caller, you could call back in. So let me address both of Chris's point real fast, unless when you want to start, and then go in.
and
Right.
we have some comments that I definitely want to put up.
Okay. So while you're doing, so you want to do that first?
Yeah, I put up Dan's comment, which says, "You may laugh, but people invented closet for a reason, to maintain dignity and keep things private. You don't get people to like things by demanding the right to be dumping it in their personal space. We never learn from history, both political and biblical." The next one, I know that Carla wrote something. Let me see if this is Carla. Oh, I gotta go up a little bit more. Uh, And this was a good question. What role do you think social media, especially violent games, play in tragedies like this?
All right. So let's go back to Chris's thought, and then we come back. I think that's both points are very important. So the first one, right? Um, let me just say this straightforward, right? As straight an arrow as they come. This is me speaking. This is not the media, Roderick speaking. When I was growing up in Jamaica, homophobia is prevalent, even now at this age. And I feel that I've spent so much time now educating people to the point where, listen, you have to respect a person, right? You have to respect a person because you expect people to respect you.
Mm-hmm.
So I have some friends, some really, really awesome people that are gay in my life. They are awesome,
Mm-hmm.
right? And because you're gay, right, doesn't make you incapable of doing anything, right? So, and that should not be held as a bias against anyone on that. So I just want to make sure that I am very clear about that statement. It is very important that people learn to recognize and respect people for who they are. And that's when I go back and I say earlier that the respecting of people plays a vital role in the things that you do. On the other hand, also, right? On the other hand, also, that people also need to respect, like if a person says religiously, I am not going to perform a gay sermon, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think somebody should be saying, this is what I want, and you should be able to provide a gay sermon, right? Because if you look at it from a religious perspective, right? But you need to be cognizant of the things that you say and the things that you do. So I think this is where where Dan is talking about the forced concept,
Mm-hmm.
right? You're forcing somebody to do something that they view as wrong, right? However, while on the flip side of that conversation, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you look at blacks and the people need to understand racism, right? And why racism is wrong, the question becomes, is it that's Chris' question. Does the civil rights movement include LGBTQ
Absolutely.
community? And it does. And it does.
It does, because it's right for right, period. Like
And that's the other part of the conversation. Yep.
the women's right, LG, you don't discriminate on people on color. You don't discriminate on people based on their sex. You don't discriminate people based on who they want to be with. So that should be no reason for people to, if you're gay, you're gay. If you're a female, you're a female. If you're black, white, purple, orange, that's what you are. But you should not discriminate on an individual based on those criteria. Nationality, hey, how I look, how I dress, if I'm, what school I go to, if I'm poor, if I'm rich. Civil rights is just right, giving people right, just respecting individuals. That's what it's about.
The only thing I don't like, because I'm not using it, I don't like you telling me that I need to use a pronoun. I'm not using no damn pronoun. Don't ask me to use no freaking pronoun. I hate that. Oh, you need to use your pronouns. What pronoun? Right? I view myself one way. You want to view yourself another way. That's fine. Right? I'm gonna respect whatever you choose to call yourself.
Right.
That's me. But don't tell me I need to refer you to you. You know that I need to say I'm a his, her, him. No, you can't tell me that I need to use a pronoun. No, I don't want to use a pronoun. I think that's wrong. I
Here's
need to respect you for using your pronoun.
and
He or she wants to use a pronoun. I
and
don't want to.
and summing it up, knowing boundaries. That's what it is.
Yes,
Knowing boundaries. Knowing where you can and cannot and what's right and what's wrong. It's no longer that simple. People think what's wrong is right. What's right is wrong. So it's bizarre, but this is what society have taken us to. There's some other comments I want to bring up.
go
James said,
ahead.
the child
Hopefully, Chris, we answered we responded to what you were talking about.
Yeah. I'm and to go back, I'm not pushing down. When students are in public schools, they are exposed to everything. Exposed to the history of the past, the history that's being presented day by day. They are exposed to different nationality, different things, racism that we come across. So school is supposed to expose children to everything. That's
That is true. That's a very good point. I was watching something today that when Louis Farrakhan spoke about knowing your history,
Mhm,
so you could know you can't forget your history. Like the Jews do not stop talking about the Holocaust. Why?
mhm.
Because it should not be repeated. You should not stop
Right.
talking about slavery because it should not be repeated. You should
Mhm,
not talk about the homosexual misbehaviors that have caused great deaths and
mhm,
misgiving and
mhm,
woman's right about getting underpaid, for doing the same work. You
mhm.
have to know your history to ensure that people are treated fairly, right, and with dignity and respect. So I absolutely, when you go to public schools, you have to come to the understanding. I agree with you, Chris, that going to public schools, you have to come to the understanding that you are going to learn about history. And if you're not interested in learning about history, go to Texas.
Did the child fear someone or something at the school? Did the parent have the gun secure? These children can go to YouTube and learn how to steal cars, pick lock. Here's another one.
Go. Let's address them one at a time. Go back to you brought up Carla's question, so we don't want to go back to Carla for a minute. Let's address it.
Which one?
And then
What role
the media.
media and especially violent games play in tragedy? I think it plays a very important role. And I mentioned that earlier because people become desensitized. So here it is. We're playing all these war crime game on the game system, and guess what? You're becoming desensitized. Okay, it exploded. His head broke into pieces. Oh my God, he died. What is it doing? It's taking that sensitivity part away from you. So when you actually see it happen in person, it's not a big deal.
When my mother-in-law died, in last year August, right, August 14th, my then 7-year-old was 2021. He was 6,
Look at that. Carla
right?
said the same thing.
Right. He, I asked him if he knew what happened. Right. That was a question I asked him. I said, Cooper, do you know what happened? He said, yeah. I said, what happened? He said, Grandma died. I was like, wow. He says, yeah, Grandma died. So that's what he understood it to be. I said, what does it mean that Grandma died? I won't see her again. Okay. Right. So he had a very small level of understanding of death. But he played Roblox and
Mm,
he played there's another game that, along with I forgot what it's called, but they have a killing game on it, right? And he at 6 understood reality, right? He understood reality. So it brought me to the attention of the question of asking, we oftentimes say that they don't get it, right? But he didn't have a complete grasp of death, but he had a grasp of what was happening. So something to think about.
Okay. Okay. I hear you. I hear
Now,
you.
I'm only bringing up that point to say that, do they really not understand what death is? Or are we assuming we're not giving them enough credit? That's all I think that's where my question is coming from.
Um, I think it depends. It depends. Because death become a reality once they stop seeing the person. If they were used to seeing the individual every day and they no longer see them anymore. If they go to the funeral and they witness that the person is in a coffin or they're cremated or something like that, then it becomes real to them. Where's grandma? Where's grandpa? Even though, then it's reality. That's grandma. That's grandpa. It depends on how you express it to them. How
I
you.
got a question for you on the same subject.
Mm-hmm. You remember these things because I remember when my great grandmother passed away, and I
Right.
was young, 2, 3 years old.
All right. So I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of parents out there who say, I will not take my child to a funeral.
Mm-hmm.
My child is not going to a funeral. No way.
Okay.
Oh, it's too scary for them. But they let their children play Roblox.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me about that.
I took my kids to a funeral.
Now I'm saying, what is your thought on that?
Listen, I don't know. I guess finalization, something being final, is it depends on how the person is feeling too. Remember, death impacts so many, so it's I don't know. It depends on how the individual is processing it. So with a roadblock is not reality to them, but
But it goes back to your question though, right? Your comment, right? And your comment is
mm-hmm.
you
Sensitized, desensitized.
you desensitize
Mm-hmm.
the kid to death, but then you let them live in a violent society without any realistic society,
Mm-hmm.
right? So Cooper, right? Right? He got grandma. His new phone number is his grandmother's phone number, right? So he's fully aware of all of that. So he has some concept of what is happening,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because a year apart, he lost two very important people in his life, 1 year apart, literally 13 months to be exact. So I don't know.
So going back to Carlene made a good point. When we see George Floyd and Eric Garner murder on live TV so many times, we become altogether numb and desensitized. Great way to put it. Um, and I know that Andre wants us to move on to the next topic, and it has to do with McCarthy.
Kevin McCarthy. I don't know. Do we? We're getting a lot of comments on this topic, Andre. I don't know if I want to move on like that.
All right. Cool.
Let's read up some of the comments and then we go forward. Neville made a comment. Neville Anglin.
Okay.
Um,
If you don't mute, come on, man.
who's that?
John now.
John. Guy, read Neville's comment for me.
Okay, which one?
Neville.
Do you think the mix is
No,
part?
go back. I think.
Which one?
Go back up. Go back. Let's go back up because we went back past a few comments. Go back. We talked about starting with caller media. So once we go back up to callers media and work our way down.
I can't go back to caller media. That will have to.
Andre and Simone can.
Neville.
James said, how well do we understand death? Okay, that's good. James, go. Yeah. All right, hold on. I can do it. I can do it.
Okay, I put it up. It's
I
there.
got it. Chris, yeah, Carla. There we go. Dan.
I put it up.
Okay. How well did you understand death as a child as opposed to being an adult? Yes, I think there's a different understanding. Well, okay, I don't know that it's a different understanding of death when you get older, other than dealing with grief. You deal with grief differently as you get older, right? But the impact of death, if you have the right understanding about the finality of death, you get it. But the impact of death, I think, how you grieve is significantly different as you get older. That would be my thoughts on that matter. I don't know what do you think?
What you think, John?
You know what? I think the grieving process. Everybody grieves differently. People accept it and understand that the finality. There's a finality, but how does someone cope with that, and how do they grieve? Some people take a short period of time. Some people take a longer period of time. So you really have to juxtapose that against you have to juxtapose that against the individual in and of itself. How do they handle grief? There's some who might present the persona to deal with it in a more regimented manner, and there's some who want to deal with that in a more emotional manner. So the concept of the realization of finality is understood, but the grieving process has many varying different degrees because based upon the emotional stability of the individual.
Let's just go to the comments real quick so we can move on to the next topic. But I also want to make sure that our villagers know that we're listening, reading what they're saying. So I get it. So we're going to do both. Let's just do it real quick. How are children supposed to ever come to grips? We don't even have to address them, but we just want to acknowledge them as well. How are children supposed to ever come to grips with the reality of death by never allowing them to participate to some degree in memorials and funerals? And that's exactly what I'm saying. Like, you can't hide them in one place and then show them in the other, because they see it on the media at all times. As a youth, 60 plus years ago, we had full contact games that left bumps and bruises on a lot of us. But the violence, as intense as it was always with the eye towards going home in one piece. The ramifications otherwise were not acceptable to keep the freedom of our fun and game and play. P.S. I was the one that, as 7-year-old, that discovered my grandfather had passed away when I went to call him for lunch. I remember clearly the slow onset of the feeling of loss. And Dan is in his 70s right now, so that's over 65 years ago for him to still remember that. So yes, it does impact. And I remember my great grandmother dying November 1979 or late October 1979, going to the funeral, interacting with her. And I actually remember interacting with her before she died. And she died when I was 7 years and about 9 months. So I definitely can there is some level of understanding that's happening. As a matter of fact, it's kind of like I have a slight visual. The next comment, so we can move on. James, comment.
This death thing is making me sad because today is
can we
anniversary of my cousin. So I'm like, oh my God.
Well,
I think there's what we understand. Death is unfortunate. It's a part of life. It's a transition that at some point in time we all going to go through. But I think at the same point in time, the most important thing is, what do we do with our time while we're here?
Yes.
So that's why I think when we're talking about the next topic, it really does have an impact upon what are we going to do while we are here, still here.
Yeah.
So let's move on, like James says. So the next topic is politics.
Yes. Wait. Before we get into politics, I gotta I'm so excited to hear that the nurse strike is over and the nurses receive what was due to them, getting
they would-
more staff.
I wish they would. I guess I wish they would give teachers more and pay the damn nurses. Well, nurses make a lot, but
It's not about making a lot. When you have
right.
one nurse for 12 patients, that's not, come on. Let's see
Yeah,
how
I was about to. Can you hear me? You're working up. I agree with you. So I was about to say. About to say that it's not always about the money. It's also about the quality. It's also about the quality of life.
Safety first.
And violence that are happening, you can't even protect your damn self. They want to provide. You know, I found out, John, they want to put security on the floor. You have to call security to come upstairs in certain hospitals when violent crimes can happen. So
Well, you know what, but you know what, Roger, it all comes down to, it's unfortunate. It all comes down to monies. And at one point in time, during the pandemic, we hailed them as heroes. And now we vilify them because they are asking for what is due to them.
Yep.
And as a result of that, the administration refuses to comply at first, and you have to go on strike.
And why should you have to go on strike? That's
exactly. But at the same time, Roger, it's a bigger, it's more bigger, and everybody thinks it's more bigger. It's these governments and the reimbursement for some of these hospitals and these institutions.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, healthcare is, I really don't know how some people can afford it, you know, and it's just, man, bottom line, the bottom line, Roderick and Dr. Bryant, the bottom line is we need to invest into ourselves, invest into our health. And that can change the whole dynamics and trajectory of our life expectancy. You know, we with respect to our Father, God, we never know what day, what time, what hour. However, what we can do is we can put ourselves in a position to try to live a little bit longer by doing what is right, you know, staying healthy physically, but also certain nutrition that we need to consume, nutrients we need to consume in order to prolong our lives.
You know something interesting, that an insurance company will pay more to do preventative care than keeping you alive care, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, keeping you alive care, they want to cut you off, right? Because I've experienced that a lot with my insurance company. I must say that they're doing a better job now, but they're really focused on you're still here, right? So people like John is saying, you're right? You got to eat right. You're going to die no matter what you do, right? So let's just be clear. However, your time doesn't have to be cut significantly short because of stupidity, and then do reactive care as opposed to preventative care. Because insurance, I think it was last week we were talking about it, that it's insurance companies make money. No qualms about it. Insurance companies make money. So I don't know who anybody's fooling, right? Like, I don't know who they're fooling when they think that insurance companies don't make money. Insurance companies make a hell of a lot of money. And the moment you need them, they leave you on the wayside when you're always paying into their system. So you need to learn to take care of yourself, have it, but those kind of things. So kudos to all the nurses over there at
yes, I'm so excited that the nurses got exactly what they fought for, and they stood there. They fought. Other nurses came together and stood with them from all over, even if they left. So that's what, there is power in collaboration and supporting each other. We get it done when we support one another for the right cause. So
Amen.
that right then and there, you see it happening, just like we need to support the Republican Party and getting rid of George Santos, because he got to go.
Wait,
I
Dan,
like that, Doc.
wait.
I like,
Let me,
I
hold on,
like, I like the way you brought that in, Doc.
Wait, John, I got it. Dan, you still there? If you're still there, tell me what's up. I want to ask Dan his opinion because Dan, I think, is from the neighboring town, right? He's not from the same town, and I want to know what has he heard in his neighborhood, in his neck of the woods, because he's from a primary Republican town, right? Um, so I want to know what has he heard. If he's still there, chime in. Oh, he's there. He's there. Spot on, John. So John, yeah, tell us what have you heard in your neck of the woods about George Santos? And you know, we hear a lot on our side, but what have you heard on the ground? So if you have that, you want to call us in. And well, you could just give us a write up online on that. But Brazil wants to arrest him.
Yeah, but House Speaker McCarthy is not backing up his Republican Party. He says he's going to stick with this man since the voters vote him in. Unless, come on, man. The man lied. The voters voted on a cartoon character, not George Santos. Oh, my goodness.
Okay, let's go back to John's comment now, Dr. Bryant. Let's go back to John's comment. John's comment is people did not, the Republican Party nor the Democratic Party did their research.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's my question, John, though. I do have a question.
Yep.
Do you think the Republican Party didn't do their research, or they saw a good chance of winning and therefore chose not to do anything?
It's the latter. You know, they saw good opportunities to. They thought he fit the profile. He was another. He was a gay individual, which is running against a older gay individual, and they felt it was the and Santos ran before against Tom Squazzi, so they felt that he had enough of a base in order to win the seat. The bottom line is this: 149,000 people voted for Mr. Santos. There needs to be, like he says, if there's a petition out there with 149 people who are calling Congressman Santos, then go ahead. He should leave. But it is not his fault. It's the Democrats and Republicans who did not do their thorough homework. And as a result, we have Mr. Santos.
Is that his real name?
That's it. You know what? It's like buyer's remorse.
Oh my God.
It's like buyer's remorse. You bought it, you gotta handle it, you gotta deal with it. But this is just the bipartisan, but it just shows you how people are more concerned, the Republican Party is more concerned about winning at any cost. At any cost to put them in the position to be in the majority. Folks, villagers, wake up. Republicans understand. They understand the power of being in a position to make decisions that can impact lives.
Well, they actually started doing that as soon as they got in office. They took the metal detector away. They dummied down the ethics department role. They are just like going buck wild. So now the investigation on Biden because he has special files or whatever.
Yeah, well, but Dr. Brian, what the hell is the president in 3 different locations got these classified files? Come on. Yep. And then 2 weeks before the election, they know about this and they don't say anything. This is the hypocrisy that exists. And this is why American people don't trust elected officials. It's unfortunate, but our track record is poor.
You know, I'm going to take a different side on this.
What you going to take?
I hear what both of you are saying. I think this is part of what makes America great, right? The stupidity of people in power, right? So I think that it kind of like speaks for itself, right? I think that we as a nation, failed to recognize that in America, only in America, you could do some of these things and get away with it. Only in America.
True.
And so though we are not happy with it, right? Though we're not happy with it, but only in America, you have the unfortunate liberties to do some of this foolishness, right? Because ultimately it's damn near foolishness when you really think about it, right? A man gets elected for lying, and there's literally no consequence.
Yeah, none at all.
Right. The Democratic Party, right, chastised and asked even people like Al Franken that he needed to quit, and he was a damn good senator over foolishness. Right.
Right.
You know, it's only in America.
Mm-hmm.
It's
only in America. Only in America.
The hypocrisy in government, right? The hypocrisy in government. The Republicans had a major issue with when the Republicans were when the Republicans are now talking about the insurrection, right? They're talking about, oh, you need to leave it alone. I'm not going to pursue it, and blah 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 blah. But you're quick to say, let me chastise Joe Biden for his foolishness. Like, I mean, to be honest with you, what Donald Trump did was worse.
Yeah.
Right. What he did was worse. But I'm going to go after Donald Trump because I am the party in power. Yeah. I don't care about doing what's right. I'm doing what is best for my party. Except for the Republicans.
Files. Donald Trump didn't want to give up this files. That was the problem.
Well, Donald Trump felt like he should have executive privilege. Right. And so I don't know. I mean, but that's America. That's one of the liberties that you got, the right to vote or not to vote. So that's that. Then Nicole, what's Nicole comment? Go ahead, Dr. Bryant. Andre, the commercials. Dr. Bryant, go ahead.
Oh, wait. Hold on. A lot of comments tonight.
Yeah, and trust me, we appreciate it. You guys are awesome tonight. Yeah.
Republican came to Washington in the House, according to the leader's Jeffrey speech on Tuesday. They passed a 2 Insurrection Protection Committee, a selected committee to protect insurrectionists. Oh boy.
Protect them from what?
I guess some of the investigation that was just taking place. Just know McCarthy will be by the wayside soon. That's so true. Jalen.
I asked Dan to say something. Let's see what Dan had said. Go back to Dan's comment. We'll never
finish Starger. Starger wrote, Jalen couldn't say it better. God is watching us. We don't have to be mad. God will take care of Santos. Just a matter of time. Dan wrote, we'll never see the brilliance of the likes of Thomas Sowell being sought for office. The gimme syndrome prevail eternally.
Who's Dan? Who's Thomas Sowell? Dan. The gimme syndrome prevails eternally. Okay, makes sense.
And then protect them from prosecution. Of course, they want to keep their insurrectionists safe.
But here's my question, though.
Democrats took too long in doing their investigation. Their investigation didn't finish until January. Come on, give me a break. You had all the time in the world. 2 years passed, and that's when the investigation finished.
You know. So I'm gonna yell at John for this, right? I'm gonna yell at John for this. John kept saying, "Oh, and no, not just John. Dr. Bryant did it too, right? I'm yelling at both of you right now. The insurrection is over. The damn Republican Democratic thoughts. The reception, the insurrection is over, and I don't know why they can't. Let's just move on, and it's not important. Guess what? The first thing the Republicans did when they came to office: protect all of the insurrectionists. So now, how important was it for them to get done what they needed to get done? Because the two of y'all wanted it to go away and stop. And the moment they get into office,
it was a waste of time.
Yeah, there you go. But apparently it wasn't a waste of time, right? Because the first thing the Republicans did was it was
a waste of time because it became time for them to go to jail or whatever, and they see the Trump being prosecuted left and right, being held to different things. Come on, they're gonna protect their Trumpster.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, all of the insurrectionists should have gone to jail. Period.
Yeah,
they're responsible for too many lives, and they weren't just going after Democrats; they were going after Republicans who they felt didn't believe with their ideologies. So, to hell with them. What else is going? Oh, single parent university. I'll open admission starting now. Going on right now. It's funny. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, know that the organization that's doing this, the Single Parent University, got a nice funding from the federal government, the state of New York, to make sure something like that happens. So there is money out there to assist you in what you need. That's why they can afford to offer you a free service with Single Parent University. Talk about childcare, education, resume writing. What else is out there? Free childcare, transportation. Utilize it. We're talking about it. Learning to identify when your child is angry, what's making the child upset, what's making the child do things that he or she should not be doing. Don't just excuse it as what do you call it? Oh, they're just being bad at being good. Think about what we talk about with the 6-year-old or the 18-year-old with mental health. So call the Parent University at 646-779-6767 or text SBU to 71441. John, right at East 56 on Church Avenue 2 days ago, there was a murder right there at Rockaway Parkway, and right over there by close to where your parents live, Dr. Bryant. There was a murder. Yep. Last week there was also a murder at 94 Rockaway Parkway. A man was shot and killed out there. So there are a lot of things happening. Parents, I'm not saying that these people are single parents or they came from single parents' home. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying, however, is recognize when there's an issue and seek help.
Roger, how much help you gonna give people, man? Where it's come to the point now where there's just so much lawlessness going on that it's like they ain't getting it, man.
I don't know that they're not getting it, John. I just think I think that people honestly don't think that things will happen to them. That's what the problem is in this world. It ain't gonna happen to me. It's a you problem. That's a major issue that I find. Right?
I mean,
well, here's the thing. Look at the bank. The guys who robbed the Chase Bank in Brooklyn with $300,000. First of all, to rob one of those Brink trucks, that's something. But that was carelessness on their end to leave.
It was a robbery. It was a robbery of opportunity. That's what it was.
Yeah, you leave the bag on the back of your truck and you walk away from it. Oh my God, that is crazy. So now to hear, it's not like you're robbing, going inside the bank. No, you left it right there for them to go free and say.
But it's so blatant. It's just like, damn. Every day you wake up, you hear you hear just people just don't give a hoot. They don't concern about the next person or their families. So the question is should we care? Should we care about bail reform? Should we care about those people who are arrested for these crimes? Should they spend a long period of time in jail? I mean, we are such a caring society, but to what extent should we be caring? It looks like it's costing people lives. So it's just very frustrating, man. It's just so damn frustrating to see what's going on. The mayor's doing all the mayor can, putting people out on the street, extra additional police officers providing the services, but you just have some uncor- incorrigible people who don't get it. So you know what? If you don't get it, like my father said, if you can't hear, you're gonna feel.
Mm, I don't know. So, what do you think about the bank? Would you have gone for it too?
If I saw the opportunity like that, I'd have said, yo, you got your money there, man. You need to be mindful of it.
Mm.
I
Roger, go ahead.
wouldn't have took. You know what? I'm not going to take $300,000. I'm not going to take a bag full of money and then worry looking over my shoulder for the rest of my life. It's not worth it, man. Peace of mind is priceless.
Yes, say that again.
Again,
So,
peace
so,
of
so,
mind is
so,
priceless.
so here are a couple of questions. All right. So I'm going to ask you, John, this question. Everybody look at me. Hate when I do my Republican talk, because even though I'm a moderate Democrat, I do side a lot. I'm a little bit right sometimes. I think that some of these criminals, they need to put them like, you know what? I'm taking a cargo ship. We're going to Siberia. We're dumping you off and just leaving you there. When you
No, not
some
even that. No. You want
if
to
you
kill
if,
somebody?
if you
If you
send
want to kill somebody, I know what to do. Send you over to Ukraine.
Yeah, that's for sure.
no, I feel you, John. But when the war is over, they're gonna want to come back.
But when they come back, they're going to appreciate freedom.
Right. Uh,
uh,
they need to go to jail and just stay there. Like go to Siberia, stay there. Right. So that's a good thing, right?
oh, wait. When did you get back, Roger? Did you get back yesterday
No,
during
Tuesday.
the outage? Oh, you got lucky.
Yeah, my
Cause
mama was in the outage.
the FAA system outage.
Yeah.
That's
So Roderick, I guess you are on vacation, or were you working? Or you were doing both? What is it, Roderick?
Both. I
Oh,
would say both. I would say both. I did actually have a couple of days vacation. I like to throw a day, but we had this conversation. You missed it. I like to throw a day. Whenever I travel, I always like to put a day in there, second vacation for a day, no matter where I am.
so.
Give
Let
it.
me. I want to go back to the FAA. Do you think that there's a little carelessness in the way that people travel nowadays?
What do you
The
mean?
FAA system outage, with thousands of flight being delayed, they're thinking that it could have been hacked. Um, so when you're up in the air, how do we know it's fully safe now? Because at
What?
any
What?
point, the outage could go, and you can't control the plane or control where they're going or whatever, or to see in advance.
that's why everything was grounded.
Yeah.
That's why everything is grounded. Was grounded because that was a very dangerous situation. It's like you had no eyes. You're flying blind or you're landing blind. So you know,
Yeah. You know, I tell people all the time, I don't feel unsafe flying. I don't. I'll take a plane any day. If you give me a ticket right now, I'm going on a plane.
Well, you know
Well,
who's
here,
not today, right? But Saturday morning, you give me a ticket, I'm going on a plane.
well, you know what was nice is the Buffalo Bill player Hamlin being flown back home. That was nice. It was nice to see people pray together for this man to, come back to full health. God allowed that to happen. And for him to take a flight back, was it yesterday or the day before? Before the whole outage thing, he was able to safely get back home to, you know, Buffalo. So we're grateful that he wasn't part of that crazy outage situation. And I agree with you, Sophia. The Bring driver should be fired for his negligence.
You know he's fired already. You think it's an inside job? You know he's fired. They fired his ass already.
That supposed robbery is so questionable. You're so right. The robbery, it was left on the back. How do we know it wasn't an inside job? That he's
Well,
part of.
but sometimes these guys are so careless. I mean, you leave your guard down for that moment, and this is what happened. It's like anything else in life. You leave your guard down for a moment, something can happen. So this is what happened. At least it was only 300. It could have been a couple of million.
I don't know.
John, those criminals are going to be spending a number of years in jail, right?
Right.
If they
For
find
robbery,
him.
right? For robbery, right?
If they find them,
they'll find them because they'll find them.
because there's tracker in the money system, but they also have
No. I mean, if two people are asking for direction, you can identify them. So the issue is your life in 15 to 20 years, right? Is 15 to 20 years really worth $100,000?
well, it's gonna be
No.
150,000 if it's two of them.
Nope. Hey, freedom is priceless.
And I think
Exactly.
someone wrote that too.
Right. That's the issue. We missed out on a few topics. We had a great discussion with you guys today. Andre's giving us the cue.
Oh wait,
So-
gotta say an early happy birthday to Andre. He's gonna be celebrating next week, Tuesday. So early shout out to my boy. I'm so
Andre, big up.
much. So listeners, give him some love over the weekend. Give him some love all throughout next week. Andre, it is you. It's about you. So thank
Right.
you for the work that you do.
Awesome. Andre shares the celebration. It said next week is Andre plus two of his cousins' birthday. Ian's birthday is on the 15th. What's that? That's Monday. Andrew's birthday is also on the 17th. Andrew's dad is on the 18th. So happy birthday to everyone. I missed a couple of birthdays last week, but this week, but happy birthday to Donna, and our other cousin, Crampy. Crampy's birthday was Tuesday. So happy birthday and good health to everybody. Right. So my whole family's born in January. Happy birthday to my sister-in-law. Her
What was
birthday.
happening tonight, Brian? Who?
Brian Cunningham is celebrating his inauguration today.
Yes,
Over there at the Brooklyn Museum. He's he's one of the only, him and Jamani Williams are two of our elected officials who actually came back out and thanked the village for their, and Monique Waterman, thanking the village for, and Mercedes Narcisse, who came back and thanked the village for their participation in their election. So thank you guys, and looking forward to seeing you next week. Thank you so much for John. Before I close up, last come, first go. Talk. Send us off.
Sending a shout out to all our villagers. Once again, happy and healthy New Year, and thank you for all the support you have given us throughout these last couple of years. And to my co-host, you guys are dynamic duos.
God bless,
Yeah.
Dr. Brian.
Just be safe out there. Enjoy the weekend. Make sure that you take time for you this weekend. Most importantly, rest and have fun.
All right. So just remember, everyone, make sure you follow me on Facebook this weekend and on YouTube. We'll be in Florida for the big domino tournament out there in South Florida. If you want to come down, let me know. Remember our domino tournament here in New York, March 17th through the 19th. Come and participate, have some fun. And lastly, just say happy birthday to everybody that I didn't say happy birthday to, because I know.
Yeah, the whole January posse.
Yeah. But I know TK's birthday, but it's not until the 26th, it's the day after mine, so I don't have to worry about that. But just saying happy birthday to everyone. There's so many of you, I don't want to call any more names. So thank you so much for watching, sharing, viewing, and participating on the village. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you, it's a long time that we have you guys participating in this level. We love you guys for doing that. Keep it up. Tune in next week. Join us. John will be on time in the studio. Right? Promise. Actually, Dr. Bryant will be in the studio.
Kiss my
Yeah. Dr. Bryant will be in the studio next week as well. So both of them will be in
Why?
the studio. All three of us will be in the studio this week. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. We're looking forward to seeing you next week and bring on the topic. Thank God. Enjoy, please.
Bye.
And Jalen, God loves all of us. God bless.